Hi everybody, it's Donna from donnasdreamworks.blogspot.com, and I'm going to be putting together a card today for the Throwback Thursday challenge over at Creative Time. The challenge was to use either the wild card cartridge or the, I believe, Just Because cartridge, but I don't have that one. And so I am using the wildcard cartridge today, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to be putting together. I'm doing the card on page 35. I thought it had kind of a pretty edge to it. And so what I've done is made the card on blackout, and I used my gypsy to design this. And what I did is make it 4 1/4 inches tall. And I made it 10 1/2 inches long, and that is so that when I folded it, it would not fold evenly, because I scored it at 5 1/2 when the card was finished. And here's what I have come up with. Is, you see, it's 10 1/2 inches long, so when it is scored at 5 1/2, it folds with the edges not even, and that, I think, lets that pretty edge kind of show up a little more. Obviously, I have done some faux stitching here with my white gel pen, and I think that brings out the edges even more. This is now a regular A2 size card at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So, and this is what I have used this cartridge for. The second cut I made from this cartridge was this piece over again. Excuse me. And I made it shorter. Sorry, this way. And then I embossed it with the Happy Birthday folder, as you obviously can see. Now, what I've done here is I've made it shorter, but I've also made it so that it wraps around, so that it comes to the back of the card. Once in a while I've done that, and it's kind of a cute piece when they're wrapped around like that. So this is the second cut I made from that same cartridge, and I think that is going to come out really cute. So let's put these two together, and hopefully my ATG gun works today. It's been playing games with me lately, and it's going to play games now too, but we'll get it. I have another one, and I have other adhesive, so it won't get the best of me. I've pre-folded this so that when you put it on the card, you can get it lined up nicely, like so. Okay, now the next element I have in this card is a stamped feature. I just got back from Ohio, and my daughter-in-law, as a young married person, was a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and she gave me a lot of her old Stampin' Up! Sets, and I'll show you my closet sometime and show you just how many I got. But this one I thought was really kind of cute. The title of it is Blooming with Happiness, and there's some different features in here. This is a gown, birthday cake, umbrella, candles, and it says friendship is shelter from life's little storms. And this one says, may your day bloom with happiness. I am using this stamp sentiment and this because it looks like a birthday cake. Now what I have done is I have pre-stamped these and mounted them and colored them because what I want to do now is to add Flowersoft to these. I thought this was the perfect stamp set to use Flowersoft with. And I have it, but I haven't used it in quite a while, so anything may go here, and we'll give it a shot. One of the things with Flowersoft to remember and is to use, I used the StazOn black ink, because between the coloring with the markers and with the wet glue for the StazOn, with Flowersoft, your ink would probably run if you didn't use something like StazOn. And the other thing is that you want to be using a fine tip ink glue. Now, I hope this works. I haven't used it in a while, and I've just unclogged it, but we'll see. You want to make extremely small little dabs. It's not something that you put all over the picture. And you put the glue, and this is like tacky glue so that it doesn't dry immediately, so you have some time to apply your product. And you'll notice right now I'm just going over the flowers that I had colored in pink. And I have this Flowersoft called Heather, and what you do basically is just dump it on. And I like to push it down a little bit and puff it off. And you'll see that it is stuck just to where I had the glue on the pink flowers. And it doesn't necessarily have to cover it completely, and that's the reason that you want to color your image before you add the Flowersoft. And that just goes right back into this container. I've had these for quite a while, and they do hold up. I was afraid in the Florida humidity, even in these containers, that they would clump up, but they don't. Now I'm going to go back in, and I'm going to add a little glue to the purple sections. And sometimes you pick up a little of that Flowersoft. You try to be careful with not running into what you've already put it on. But sometimes it gets on the tip of your glue. And now one thing you can do is to ad-lib and make it go over the edge or so forth, but I'm not going to today because I want it to look like a cake on a cake stand. So now I'm going to put on some purple. Now, if you see my Flowersoft moving away from me, it's because my overhead fan is on. So let's get this back in the container. I have a habit of doing things like using glitter and embossing powder and forgetting that I have my overhead fan on. There you go. And so that's what the Flowersoft looks like when it's put on the card. And that needs to dry because, as I mentioned, it's a tacky glue. But it really is kind of pretty. So what I'm planning to do is I'm going to put that right here and probably lift it up on the dimensionals. And then my sentiment is right here. And let's see, maybe like so. Maybe like so, so that some of the embossing shows. Or let's see, if I could put it here and there, then I get that word birthday in over there. That's probably a little better. Okay, so I'm going to use some of my homemade dimensionals. I've seen a couple of people make these online, and I finally got one of those little Xyron machines, and so I'm all set to use some of my own homemade dimensionals, and we'll see how they work. It was kind of fun. Sorry, I'm out of the frame. I'm just cutting some little strips here. Now for this, I'm going to put some, let's see, I think I'll just do, golly, it's confusing when I'm trying to figure out how to cut my own. There you go. Isn't this clever? This is made, if you don't know how to make them, this is made with that foam that you can buy in any of the craft stores, and the best kind to get is some that has adhesive backing on it, and so that when you put it through the little Xyron machine, thus, okay, you just put it one side to get the adhesive, and the backing, it already has adhesive underneath it. I think that'll do. Very nice. Okay. And now I'm going to carefully turn this over, and without putting too much pressure on it, see if I can get these on here. What's nice about this is that I bought black foam and white foam so that I can, if you're using a project that you want to lift up that has a dark cardstock, you won't see the white foam. And of course you see I've taken off one side on one and another side on another. It makes no difference. Let me put one in the middle. This is a little larger and I don't want it to sink down in the middle. Okay. Let's see, right about here, and just offset it again. And you can press down on the Flowersoft. That doesn't hurt it because you're actually pressing it into the card. There you go. I'm sorry, I probably had my head on the card most of the time, but that's the project that I made today. Now for the inside, I also did some faux stitching. And what I have done is take a sentiment that said birthdays are nature's way of telling us to eat more cake, and I'm going to mount it. I want to mount it on the inside so that it does not show beyond the edge. And if you notice, I've cut one edge there. What this is called is like almost like a ticket cut, but I don't have a ticket punch, so I use my 1-inch circle punch, and you just put the tip of your cardstock in and you get ticket corners. There you go. So I think that if I put it right about here, yeah, it doesn't show. So let's see if we can get that put in. Well, between this fan, I'm going to have little pieces of paper and Flowersoft blowing all over the room here in a minute, but that's what they make vacuums for. Creativeness is often messy, isn't it? There. I think that came out really cute, and I think it was fun to use the Flowersoft for a change. Haven't used it in a while. Okay, that's it for today. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you next time. Play nice. Bye-bye.